everybody, so I am back with another Keeping It Real review, and this time on the ultra famous and super trendy town of Tulum, Mexico. So prior to booking, I already knew that it was going to be very touristy. It seems like over the past year or so, Tulum's popularity has just skyrocketed. So that was no surprise to me, and definitely will not hold that against the city because I knew that coming in. So from a beach standpoint, I will say that in my opinion, the water in Cancun, which is just an hour and 45 minutes away from Tulum, I think the water in Cancun is prettier than Tulum. Cancun really has just like beautiful beaches, and I know that it has become super oversaturated, and it's been oversaturated for years. But if we're talking just water and sand, I think that Cancun still reigns supreme in that section of Mexico. That being said, the water and the sand was not bad at all in Tulum. Like, it was still pretty, but I do think that Cancun has prettier water if you're looking more for like just the beach. As far as affordability, first let's start off with lodging. I found the Airbnbs located in Aldea Zama to be pretty affordable for what you're getting. There are tons of really beautiful villas and nice condos on Airbnb that are really a steal. For example, my friends who flew down to meet me for my birthday, we rented a 2-story condo that also had our own private rooftop with a jacuzzi. We rented one of those in Aldea Zama, and it was only about $230 per person, which was amazing. There were 3 bathrooms in the apartment itself and a half bathroom on the private rooftop. There were 3 bedrooms and there were 4 beds, so we got it for 4 people. Huge kitchen, huge living space, and honestly it was just super nice. Also, we had a concierge at the front desk, so it felt very safe and secure, and it was nice to be able to go downstairs and ask local tips, local questions, and have them order taxis for us when we needed one. So if you're looking for some sort of luxury vacation without necessarily spending a huge amount of money on lodging, then I do think Tulum is great, and there are so many options from boutique hotels and Airbnbs for amazing and affordable lodging. As far as food and drinks, it really depends on what experience you want. If you go to the hotel zone, you are getting ripped off. I'm talking ripped to shreds. So if you want to be in that super trendy area and you want all of those famous Instagram shots at all these famous Instagram hotels and all of that, then know that you are going to pay a pretty penny. For example, one of our first nights out, we went to Rosa Negra, and I believe the drinks were almost 300 pesos, and that is not cheap. 300 pesos is over $14 depending on what the daily exchange rate is, so anywhere from $14 to $15. And for me, I really don't want to do that night after night. That's a one and done kind of drink situation for me on the entire trip, and I would rather go to a smaller local place where I can get 3 or 4 drinks for that price. So if you think that you're gonna go to Tulum and ball out, it is not really possible to do that if you're hanging out in the hotel zone the entire time. However, if you go downtown, it is very easy to find drinks for like 100 pesos, which is like $4 and change. And that is way more up my alley. So we ended up only spending, I think, 1 night in the hotel zone. And we went to the hotel zone, I think, the next morning just to go to the beach itself. But then after that, we didn't go back to the beach or the hotel zone for the rest of the trip, and we were there for 6 days total. We stayed in downtown. And one thing that a lot of people may not realize, if you're booking a hotel and staying at a resort, or I guess there are no real resorts in Tulum, but maybe boutique hotels. If you're booking a boutique hotel and you're staying in the hotel zone the entire time, you're really missing out on really cool places in downtown. So there are still some trendy and touristy aspects of downtown, and then there are sections that are more local. But even the trendier parts of downtown are significantly cheaper than the hotel zone. it's totally possible to still get that cute bohemian chic vibe in downtown, and you don't have to go to the hotel zone to get it. That being said, for me, keeping it real, the hotel zone is just not worth it for me because I don't really need this like super Instagrammable moment, and I would prefer to find nice photo ops in places that aren't so oversaturated online. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for like a famous shot every now and then, but I do feel like a lot of the Tulum spots have just flooded our Instagram feeds for so long, and a lot of times you're just paying a huge premium just to go to a spot that a million other people have already photographed and posted about. So for me, downtown in Centro is where it's at, and that was a lot of fun. We ended up spending the rest of our nights and days down there. We had awesome food. We went to a vegan taco spot. I'll put the name here. And we got tacos for 25 pesos a piece. And honestly, I think that was like our favorite meal of the trip. Just super cheap tacos, but they were absolutely delicious. And it was just really straightforward and awesome. As far as the cenotes, for me, the secret, or not really secret now because I'm telling you, is you have to get there early. So what we decided as a group is we did not want to do long car rides and drive 2 hours outside of Tulum and 2 hours back. We just didn't want to spend that much time on the road. So I know that there are probably a lot more off the beaten path cenotes to see outside of Tulum. However, that just wasn't the vibe that we were on for that particular trip. So we chose 2 different cenotes that were much, much closer to the center city. We chose Gran Cenote and Cenote Calavera. We were all in agreement that Gran Cenote was just okay. So it was 300 pesos, I believe, to enter. And you also had to go through like a turnstile, and they check your bag before entering. And it was just kind of weird. Like I didn't expect like that level of like security and like super official vibes at a cenote, but whatever. On the inside, the main section is just okay, but the key is making sure that you swim underneath the cave to go to the other side, and that's where you have more like the magical cenote vibe. So definitely do not forget to swim underneath the cave, or you can walk over the top and go down another set of stairs and reach the other side, which is a little bit more magical. The main section was just, it was just okay for us. The second cenote we went to was Cenote Calavera, and that one you do get a little bit more of like the official cenote photo. Like if you're looking for the big hole straight down into the ground, that is what you're gonna get at Cenote Calavera, and you're gonna get less of that at Gran Cenote. And at Cenote Calavera, it was, I believe, 250 pesos to enter. And, you know, when you add it up, you know, we spent over 500 pesos between the two. And then we also had to pay for the taxi driver to take us to both and wait on us. And, you know, it wasn't a bad price overall. We knew we wanted to hit up at least 2 different cenotes. So overall, I felt like it was a good excursion. But the key was we went early. We were literally like the first people in both cenotes. Pro tip, Gran Cenote opens at 8:10 a.m. and Cenote Calavera opens at 9 a.m. What we did was we left the house around 7:40 a.m. and we were like the first people at Gran Cenote. So we were able to get in and kind of just take our pictures at first and get the content out of the way. Then we were able to put our stuff in the locker and just relax and swim and just kind of vibe for a bit before the massive crowd started showing up. On our way out, there were a lot more people coming in. So super happy that we got there first thing in the morning. Then our taxi driver took us to Cenote Calavera, and we were the second group there because we didn't get there right when it opened up. We were maybe 20 minutes after it opened, and luckily they were nice enough to kind of swim to the side and let us get our content. And then after that, we put our phones away and just swam in the cenote for a while, and it just felt super peaceful. And again, on our way out, there were more people coming. So if you really want to be able to get the shot, or if you want to just be able to relax without a million people swimming around you, definitely go first thing in the morning. One thing to be aware of is we noticed when we priced out how much it would cost to get someone to take us to both cenotes, both taxi drivers who were totally different people, not affiliated with each other at all, both of them tried to pitch to us to go to Casa Tortuga, and that is a group of cenotes. I think there are maybe like 5 or 7 different cenotes in one place. You pay an entry fee and it includes like all of the different cenotes, but the kicker is at this particular cenote, you can't just do it on your own. It's a tour that's included. I am personally not a big fan of tours. I only do them if that is the only way I can see something. But if I have an option to do it on my own, I will 100% do it on my own. So just a heads up, that may be a little kickback situation. That's the vibe that I got. So it makes me think that maybe they're out there trying to get people to go to Casa Tortuga because they're gonna get some sort of kickback when they bring people. So if that is what you wanna do and where you wanna go, knock yourself out. But I just didn't feel like the recommendation was genuine. I felt like maybe they had something to gain because it was just a little weird that different taxi drivers pitched that same thing to us. So just a thing to keep in mind. So we have touched on the beaches, we've touched on the affordability of Airbnbs and hotels, we have touched on food and drink pricing and the excursions around Tulum, like the cenotes. So all in all, I had a great time in Tulum just because I had really good company and I was excited to celebrate my birthday with my friends. We spent quite a bit of time in our Airbnb, and again, I think that it is a great place to go where you can book a really luxury looking place without paying the luxury price tag, which is awesome in my opinion. So as far as if you want to have like a group trip and you want to rent out a really cool place and kind of do a few nights in, 100% think that it's a really affordable place to spend a couple of nights in a really bomb-ass place. As far as food and drink, you can do it on a budget if you stay away from the hotel zone, for sure. We found a lot of places that had drink specials in downtown, so I would say on average, a lot of places have drinks for about 95 to like 120 pesos, but every now and then there's a place that's doing like a 2-for-1 special. So if you stay in downtown and away from hotel zone, your dollar will go a lot farther, and that we really enjoyed. All in all, Tulum was a really good vibe. Do I think that it lived up to the hype? I don't think that it's necessarily worth all the hype that it gets. However, I had an awesome time. For me, it's likely not a place that I will return to, only because these beachy towns often are more of a one and done. For me, at this point in my life, I am more of a cobblestone street, historical town, colonial town girl. So while Tulum was a really good time, and I really don't have a lot of complaints because I think that we adjusted our trip to make it work for us, where we did spend a lot more of our time in downtown, and I would have probably hated it if we were located in the hotel zone. I think that it was fun. I think that it was a really good trip if you want to have like a girl's trip, a boy's trip, you know, something with friends. But for me, I probably won't be returning, but no major complaints. So that's all for today's Keeping It Real review on Tulum, and I look forward to sharing my experiences and opinions on future cities.